Welcome back to the Isaac Abrams Show, everybody. I'm your host, Isaac Abrams. Today's very special guest, comedian, producer, actor, writer, and now philanthropist, Mr. Josh Shakespeare, everybody.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Thank you for being here. In this episode, we talk about some would you rathers. We talk about politics.
Yeah.
Some conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Some New York. He just got back from a month in New York. The contrast between New York and LA.
Yeah, that was fun.
And at the end, we talk about our favorite steaks. Josh, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the episode, everybody.
Yeah.
I've decided that new podcasts are only for people that already have a fan base.
I agree. I 100% agree with this.
And old, unsuccessful podcasts like this one are for people who just can't let it go.
I wouldn't say it's unsuccessful. Not many people can just have the guests that you've had on their show.
Yeah, well, I'm not responsible for any of those guests. I can't take credit for any of the big guests.
Why not?
Because I paid a producer to hire those people to get them for me.
Yeah, there you go.
So
I can't just you think I can just afford a producer right now?
I can't either. That's why I'm getting you in here.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm really trying to help you out here, but he's just kind of keeps beating me down. He's just like,
No, we've tried this a couple of times. You used to come to the old studio and hang out and write.
Yeah. That was fun.
And then we lost it to the rats.
Yeah. You keep saying that. I'm like, dude, every time I was there, I never saw a rat.
I mean, I was there more than anybody else. After 6 o'clock, the ceilings, like what you can't see on camera is that we have the drop tile office ceilings in here. We ripped all the tiles out, so the rats would run along the little wires.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was gross.
Those are thin and nimble creatures.
It was. And I would have to show up for a podcast 3 hours early in case one of the mouse traps went off.
Oh, nice.
Or rat traps.
Nice.
Because a dead rat smells like a dead rat.
Okay.
And then you got to open all the doors and windows and air it out and Febreze it for a long time. And you just hope that like Jay Leno doesn't complain about the smell of rats.
Name drop.
Yeah.
Hopefully Jason Statham doesn't have a problem with it.
You know, Joe Coy would come in sometimes and be like, smells a little ratty in here.
I like that. I mean, put exterminator on your resume if that's the case.
Yeah. Like
legit, who's going to check that?
No, you know what I found? No one checks real resumes.
No.
Like you could apply for any job and be like, yeah, I do this. I've been doing this.
And they're just going to ask you the same exact questions based off your resume. You're like,
no one will ever check to see if you actually have a college degree.
I found that out a couple of days ago. I didn't know that.
You applied for something?
No, I watched a few videos and this is like a very real experience that people who have gone to college have. And I'm like, I didn't go to college. So, the more I don't know, man. I don't want to say like I'm smart or I'm ahead of my time, but it's just like the more I didn't go to college, the more I get vindicated every day when people are like, I can't pay for it. It's too expensive.
Yeah. Who's smarter? The guy who signs up for $300,000 worth of student debt that has to default on that, or the guy who doesn't, goes right into the workforce and is 4 years ahead?
Yeah. There you go.
Especially if you develop a skill that doesn't need a college degree anyway.
I was thinking that same
editing,
thing.
Videography, comedy, like any of that stuff, performance art, like
it's a trade, yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So at this point too, it's all on YouTube.
Yeah.
All of it is on YouTube.
YouTube University, man.
YouTube University. You can just kind of do that, and then it's kind of like network your way to the top.
They're not going to teach you how to do brain surgery, but
they might. Hey man, don't never say never.
I mean, now that we bring it up, if I ever have to have surgery, I'm going to actually check on
YouTube first, just in case.
I was going to say that the doctor's or the surgeon's actual degree.
Oh yeah, well yeah. But even then, like, how do you know that they're not going on YouTube to like check on certain things?
I mean, maybe there's like a surgeon's YouTube where
there's this guy who does like it's like a real lawyer, ask a real lawyer, and then he'll go over movies and TV shows that have scenes that feature court proceedings, and they go, here's why this is inaccurate. I love this guy. He's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I love seeing that too, because they're like, okay, so this court case, it was done in the span of like a week. In real life, this would take years. So it was like Daredevil. And they were going over the Punisher trial, and he's like, "Yeah, this goes way too quickly. This was way too quick."
but
okay. For the TV show, because the TV show, I get why they're doing it, but it's like in real life, this would take at least like 3 to 4 years to fully.
But you can't take 3 to 4 years in a TV show to do it.
No, of course not. Of course not. No. Unless you want to be authentic, like true crime or whatever, and there's like a time jump, and you write that in. But because this is Marvel, they're like, this is in the span of a week. It's like, really? You guys have no traffic stops you got to get through before this? It's like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah, they're just It's the course of an afternoon is a murder trial.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy murdered 47 people, and it's only going to take us 30 minutes to get through it.
Right.
Because we need to move the story along.
Yeah, and there's always an objection.
Yeah.
Somebody loses their shit.
Someone's in contempt of court.
Right. I'll throw you out of here.
I'll throw you out. I'll throw myself out, you son of a bitch. It's always some shit like that. And it's like, that's John Bernthal, everyone. Man, ask you something. I'll tell you what.
All right, that actually takes me to my first Would You Rather, because we're talking about X-Men and Marvel and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Would you rather be in the Avengers or would you rather be an X-Men?
It's a good question, man. I don't know. That's a really good question.
I think it comes down to your powers, right?
I was thinking that same thing too, but then at the same time, it's just like a lot of not a lot, but like a good number of the powers that the Avengers have, some of the X-Men have, and I really just think it depends on like how often you want to travel. Because like the Avengers have to fight in like other countries and in different universes and shit for the most part. If we're gonna go off the cinematic, I know the nerds who's like, well, actually the X-Men have traveled to other. Shut up. X-Men are typically just in New York, and then like that's kind of where they are, and then sometimes they'll go to space. Sometimes, so I mean, I think I'd rather chill in the mansion if I'm being honest.
Wait, so we're foreign and domestic here, right? So the Avengers are international.
Yeah, literally. Because I mean, they have like one base, but for the most part, they stay in that base, and then they go off into their lives, and then there was a problem. They all come together on an island or on another planet or in a different dimension. That's kind of how it happens. X-Men, they're in the house the entire time, and then they're like, all right, we got to get in the jet. Then we all have to go somewhere else together. I'd rather do that.
You want to live with all your friends?
Yeah, it's a school. Like, it's like a university. Some bitches there.
Okay, they're schoolgirls.
I mean, yeah, sure, but I'm the same age as them, so you know, what I mean,
fair.
Don't say schoolgirl like it.
That's fair.
Like they're 16 or something.
You're a school. You're a schoolboy.
There's levels to it. So I mean, I'd rather be that. I think I'd want to be in the X-Men because the mansion does get blown up every couple of years.
Yeah, who puts it back together?
The mutants. Because I mean, there's like levitation and there's like architect. You know,
is there somebody who can just snap their fingers and just build a building?
Yes and no. I don't know that much extensive knowledge about the X-Men and their powers because there's like so many different. But like I'm pretty sure I did see a scene in Dark Phoenix at the end where Jean was putting the house back together with her levitation. And then Magneto was doing with the metal. So I'm like, yeah, it's fine. If we blow
Somebody will figure it out.
Someone will figure it out. Yeah. But it does get blown up every single couple of like seasons or years. So
yeah, there was that one movie too where the Speedy guy is taking everybody out as it's blowing up. God damn it. And the time is the goddamn it about the Speedy guy. Mm-hmm. What's his name? Dr. Speedo? Super Speed? Speed R Us?
Stop. Please stop. Jesus fucking Christ. It's Quicksilver. God damn it.
Oh, yeah, it was right there.
No, the fuck you. You said Doctor.
Dr. Speed.
So it's Pietro or Peter Maximoff, Quicksilver. Yes. He did the thing. Yeah. He went in there. Yeah.
Super unrealistic.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of debate over speedsters as a superpower and how it's done and how it's directed. If I'm correct, people said that you ever watch The Incredibles?
Mm-hmm.
The way Dash runs, they say, is most accurate to how a speedster operates because you can just get him with timing. If you can see him from like yards away running really, really, really fast, if I just time it right and I shoot in that direction where he's going to be, I can probably get him. Whereas in movies and TV shows like Flash or X-Men with Quicksilver, they make it so everything in time stops and he can just move however they want to move. And it's like, that's not how that would work. Because if time is frozen, it doesn't matter how far away I am from you, you can still get to me because time is frozen. Right. If that makes any sense.
But it's moving minusculely slow. Like they say that you see the fire bubble like coming out really slowly. So it's not frozen time.
It's not but like that's how they perceive it. So it's like if everything is frozen around you, you should not be able to catch me.
Yeah.
If you're frozen or you're moving incredibly slow to the point where it's like you're almost frozen, if that makes any sense.
Right. And technically you wouldn't be able to breathe.
That too.
Right? Because of physics.
But then there's also whiplash too. That also accounts for it as well. Because if you're running so fast, like your head would go backwards. But I guess
your head goes with you, but the people you pick up.
That too. That's why he has to hold their head. In the movie, he explains that. He goes, "I'm holding the back of your head so you don't get whiplash." So then he just.
I missed that part. Must have been getting some candy.
Something like that. Yeah.
Would you consider yourself to be an authority on superhero stuff?
No, not really.
You sound like it.
I'm an authority on perception of it, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's your perception of authority?
My perception of authority, in this context, I mean, I know enough. I know enough.
I think, okay, somebody that says I know enough usually ends up being an expert on something. Or it's like when you go like, hey, how good are you at poker? You're like, I'm all right.
No, it's not even. There are people with way more extensive knowledge about the comic books than I am. I try my best to learn.
Well, you
about
never
it.
want to be the most knowledgeable comic book guy in the room.
Do you? Do you not?
You do not.
Really?
Unless you're at a comic book convention.
Yeah, there you go. Have you experienced those types of guys before?
I have. I've been in the comic books stores.
Nice. So have I.
And then I know literally nothing.
Yeah.
So then, so for example, there's a producer that I travel with who produces graphic novels when he's not making commercials.
That's awesome.
He actually, can I say this? He teamed up with someone who just announced at a Comic-Con that they were not going to make the graphic novel. They were going to redo another version of the movie, which would be 4. He was, it was before Marvel was a big deal. It involves vampires. I can't say his name out loud. I'll probably be breaking an NDA. So
if it involves vampires, that narrows it down.
it does. And it just got announced at Comic-Con. So anyway,
awesome.
we'll be on the road, like making a commercial, and on our days off, he's like, let's go to this comic book store. And I'm like, okay, I have nothing else to do. And he's like, well, this is version, and he's more knowledgeable than the comic book store owner, and that guy usually gets pissed.
Yeah, of course. That's fun to watch.
Yeah.
That's fun to watch.
Taking an expert to an expert shop.
That's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I wish I was an expert on anything. Are you an expert on anything?
I don't think so. I would just say I'm well experienced, and I look up Wikipedia sometimes.
Do you want to, if you could be an expert on anything, what would you be an expert on?
I think maybe emotions.
An expert on emotions.
Yeah.
Like a therapist, understanding emotions, reading them on other people, or understanding your own emotions?
Maybe both. Absolutely both. To the point where it's like almost like clairvoyance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say emotions, and I think the closest people I've ever seen be able to do that would probably be Eastern philosophers or Eastern religious people, and maybe like Buddhists or monks. You know, those types of people.
Because they spend all day thinking about it.
Literally. Not even thinking about it, watching it. Because it's like a slight difference. They're like actively watching every emotion that they have and the emotions in other people. So, but being able to do that and then just be an expert at it, I think, yeah, that'd be great. And it's kind of like almost an unmasterable craft, a lot like stand-up.
Well, okay. Where do I want to go with that? Why is it unmasterable?
Because there's no end. You don't ever stop feeling.
If you drink long enough.
There's that. Yeah.
No, okay,
I mean, that's your medicine, dude. That's what I love. I love when monks and like Eastern philosophers call it that. Or they go like, cause sometimes they'll do cannabis and they'll be like, oh, that's medicine. I'm like, sure, if you want to call it that.
That's interesting. I never thought about them getting high. They take their medicine. They're doing.
Not them specifically, but like I know like a few therapists or a few mental health gurus that like refer to it as medicine, and I get why, because sometimes you need like a little. I'm sure people in ancient times have used like psychedelics, quote unquote, or cannabis to kind of get through or to like connect further with themselves internally. So that's like why I would use it. That's why I use it, is because I don't even use it socially. I'd use it to check out. I don't know how people smoke weed in front of other people. I don't know how you do that.
I don't understand how people smoke weed and perform comedy.
Yeah, I've done it like maybe hungover from cannabis a couple of times.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never gotten a hangover from cannabis before.
It's a different type of hangover, I would imagine, from alcohol, because I've never been drunk. So
you should definitely try it once.
Everyone says that. I'm like, I've seen other people do it. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's a social, it's almost a social activity. I'm not as social like that, but a hangover from cannabis literally is just kind of you feeling a little bit of the high that you had last night. So it's like a little bit of groggy.
Yeah.
You don't really necessarily have your wits about you.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine it's way less painful and less debilitating than being drunk.
Yeah.
Hangover.
Hangovers from alcohol they're bad.
Yeah.
They're pretty bad.
They look bad.
They don't feel good.
But what's helped me and any alcoholics listening to this, I would recommend is fasting after the session.
No way. You got it totally backwards.
Am I?
You got to eat a big old greasy meal.
Really?
Oh yeah,
sure?
soak all that shit up. Yeah.
Interesting.
If you're
this is
drunk,
why I say, yeah.
If you're drunk before you go to sleep, if you eat a big meal, you'll feel less hungover the next day.
Okay.
If you get up the next day and you're super hungover, immediately pop a couple Advil, steam it out if you can, get in the hottest shower possible or get in a sauna.
Interesting.
Sweat it out, start chugging water, Gatorade.
Interesting.
It's a couple hour process to get over it.
Interesting. For me, when I get the cannabis hangover is what usually when I don't eat, I do this already even if I'm not hungover. I just don't eat as soon as I wake up, and you just kind of go. When your body is in survival mode in that regard, you get sharper, you wake up more. But I thought that was maybe transferable to alcohol, but I'm guessing not.
No, well, not to me, and I also never tried it.
Yeah. So
because the first thing the first thing I want to do when I'm high is eat, but the first thing I also want to do when I'm drunk is also eat.
Yeah. So I mean, aftermath. I mean, try it out, see if it works. If you get like maybe not super drunk, but just enough to where you're like, I'm gonna be hungover the next morning. Just try the fasting, water, but just don't eat as soon as you wake up for a couple of hours, and then just let your body think that it's starving, which it is.
On normal days, I don't break my fast until 1 or 2. I just had a sandwich before you got here.
There you go.
It's my first meal of the day.
Awesome. So there you go. It's like right when you wake up, but also like do some shit.
Oh yeah, I've been working out for an hour a day now.
Good.
Yeah.
A day. What do you do?
I ride my bike and play video games.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a nice little finger workout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My knuckles are sick. Dude.
Yeah, dude, that's nice. Man.
But no, I put 3-pound weights on my wrists.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'm holding the controller with 6 pounds. For
okay.
an hour.
And you got some like ligament control in there.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't anything, but between games, I'm like fucking.
That's totally man. Fuck yeah, dude.
I'm losing weight.
That's great, man.
I'm moving. Plus, I got the resistance on the legs up. I'm sweating.
God, I can't wait to see you fight Canelo. It's
gonna be
fucking great, dude.
Dude, okay. So did you watch the fight?
No, I saw the highlights though.
Yeah, because we ordered MMA instead of the Canelo fight.
Okay.
Which was a dumb. I don't know. I mean, I think it was a dumb weekend to put it in the Sphere.
So there was 2 fights at once.
Yeah. So
okay.
Canelo had his fight. He fights twice a year on the same calendar date every fucking year.
Did not know this.
Yeah, and then this last weekend was Mexican Independence Day weekend.
Yeah,
it's actually today as we're sitting here.
Awesome.
And they did it in the Sphere, and it was all mostly Mexican fighters.
Yeah.
Great card. Like, it was fights that you didn't think were going to go very long, went the whole distance.
Nice.
And then the title fight was...
They said that, I saw Andrew Schultz's post about it this morning. He was there, Joe Rogan was there, and he was like, the last fight was underwhelming, but for the most part, it was pretty chill. And I was like, oh, I didn't know they had a fight in the Sphere. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, I mean, you could see Andrew was sitting front row. You could see him.
I didn't even, that's dope.
Pretty much the whole time.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, the ref would walk in. We basically watched 2 hours of a guy's ass.
Basically, okay. Hilarious.
Because, we'll be watching the fight, and then the ref just steps in the shot.
The ref would just step in front of the shot. That's fucking funny. I saw, like, those 360 projector trucks that sometimes go around where there's, like, a LED screen on the left, back, and side of the freight truck. And it's, like, a little small. They were in New York City watching the fight on all those screens. And it was, like, an entire neighborhood just kind of sitting there and watching the Canelo fight. And I was like,
cool.
That's dope.
That's somebody in that neighborhood that owns that truck.
Yeah.
And then they're like...
And also has pay-per-view.
Who's got $80?
Literally,
I'll put it on the truck.
Yeah, I love that too. And then like the whole neighborhood was just watching in beach chairs. They were just like sitting there very silently. And I was like, that's nice. That's very homely.
Yeah.
I like that.
You just got back from New York.
I did, yeah.
You did a month.
A month.
So you consider yourself to be an LA comedian, right?
I'd say so, yeah.
What do you think is the biggest... Were you able to, in a month, immerse yourself in the New York comedy scene?
As much as possible, yeah.
How many, did you get to do some shows?
Yes, I did. I did some shows.
So how would you compare LA to New York, comedy-wise?
Comedy-wise, oof.
Do you like New York better in your experience?
Absolutely. As far as, in many, many regards, yes, absolutely.
Why?
It is definitely a level playing field. But
you're also kind of an East Coast guy. Like, you grew up on the East Coast.
Yeah, I was raised in Connecticut.
Do you feel more at home in New York than you do in LA? Like, do you feel like you can walk up and talk to anybody in New York as opposed to walking up and talking to anybody in LA?
Oh, that's a good question. Nah, it's both. So my thing is, I think, I wouldn't say I'm more comfortable. I think I'm comfortable talking to both people in both LA and in New York. I think was raised to live in New York or just the East Coast in general, but I feel like I more so belong in LA, if that makes any sense, just because of the weather.
Yeah.
And like and the space. You're very like very tight, and it's very and oftentimes it can be very suffocating living in New York.
Right.
So,
but I feel when I'm in New York, I'm more social. I'm more outgoing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I could like see somebody in the elevator. I'm like, how you doing? Like,
yeah.
Because I know they're not going to be like, well, I'm having a little trauma with my cat today. Like, they're not going to answer. There's like social norms.
Yeah.
How you doing? Good. How you doing? Like, that's it. We're moving on. I don't give a shit about you. You don't give a shit about me.
Yep.
But in LA, people trauma dump on you.
They trauma dump. They trauma. I mean, this is a whole bigger thing. I'm trying to get to every question you had about New York. I would say the biggest difference just on the social aspect of it, which I love about New York, is nobody gives a fuck who you are. It's my favorite. LA here, it's like you don't know who knows who's Jewish. You don't. There's none of that. New York, everyone does. They don't care who you are at all. They don't I didn't see any famous people, but I'm pretty sure like maybe I passed them on. I did pass like one or two famous people on the street once, but like everyone, it's not like a TV show over there. There's no main character energy in New York at all. Everyone just lives their lives. They're they're comfortable just being who they are. A thing I love about New York too is you can just disappear there. You can just disappear into the crowd. No one. Whereas LA, everyone is like, no, this is you're all guest stars on my show. There's none of that.
That's so true.
Everyone treats you here in LA like you're a guest star on my show. Which is why I think I belong here, because I dress like that. But
you dress like an NPC?
No, I dress like a main character.
Oh yeah.
But in New York, they're like, no, you're just like fashionable. You dress well. But even then, it's like we don't give a fuck about that either. It's more about the substance over the style in New York in a lot of cases. Comedy wise, way better. 100%.
Better because what I normally hear is the number one answer is always like, because you get more reps, you get more sets. You get more reps,
you get more sets. It's still expensive as fuck. If anything, some of the mics are even a little bit more expensive than they are here in LA. Because in LA, you can just go and you'll spend just $5 on a mic. But over there in New York, you'll spend $5 plus a registration fee $1, and then when you get there, you need to buy an item. So you're spending like $10 just for like maybe 7 minutes, something like that. And then depending on if more people show up, the time gets a little bit less. But a lot more reps. The people over there write more on average, I'd say. Connor McSpadden, funny comedian. Shout out Me and Boys podcast. He said it best. You go to LA if you want to be famous, and you go to New York if you want to be good.
Right.
So just the quality of the worst joke you hear at an open mic in New York is still probably better than the best joke you'd hear at an open mic in LA.
That's interesting.
That's, if that makes any sense. Like even the bad comedians in New York at the open mic, they still have more structure to their jokes.
Right.
They still have like setup, punch, we cut the fat. It feels like people in LA are just trying to work on the character of being funny, whereas people in New York are already funny. They just need to structure it better, more like an ABC. It's very like bare bones over there.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
From the mics that I've been to here, it's just someone will just say words, and then they won't get a laugh, and they'll be like, "Well, that works in San Diego."
Yeah, literally. Yeah, they play more with inflection over here, whereas over there they play more with surprise. Over there they play more with surprise and shock value. I'll get that. Oh, okay.
I shouldn't even be having this out on the show anyway, but I gotta quit.
Those things look like those goddamn car stereos we used to have in the early 2000s.
I mean, this probably has more circuitry in it
probably
than the car stereos we used to have in our cars.
Yeah. But I think, yeah. So as far as, they play with the surprise, punches, red herrings. Here, it's like, what would Andy Kaufman in 2024, how would he dress? How would he look? That's kind of what the difference is. And yeah, there are so many comedy clubs in New York. It's ridiculous.
Well, there's a lot more people.
A lot more space.
Yeah.
Spaces are smaller, I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bar scene over there is nothing, I don't think. It's really bad.
You mean the comedy bar scene?
Not the comedy bar scenes, but just like with bars in New York. They're so small. I think, I could be wrong, but it feels like LA has New York beat when it comes to not a lot, not even maybe but a good number of bars. Like the bars in LA are spaced out. It's like an entire room.
Mm-hmm.
the bars in New York, it's like a hallway or a subway car.
Like a tunnel.
It's like literally. It's like there's nowhere to like go in, get shot down by a girl, and then you can go kind of like a yard, 2 yards away, go somewhere else.
You can't hide. You got to go to another bar.
You got to go to another bar if you get shot down like once. That's how small the bars over there are in New York. But there's just more room to talk to people just in general in New York entirely.
Well, you have to because you're standing on top of them.
You're standing on, literally, we're living on top of each other over there.
Yeah.
But New York was fucking great. What was the other question you had about New York too, as far as the people there? Because I think I got 2 of them. You said comedy.
The big differences between L.A. and New York, but from your perspective, you know, I've heard a bunch of people talk about the difference between L.A. and New York, but like, was it a positive experience, right?
100% a positive experience, yeah.
So do you plan on like doing like a month, a year? You're gonna go back?
I was thinking about that too. I was like, because I legitimately considered moving there, and I had like a good in to move in there too, like very, very conveniently. But I realized after being there for a month and like on my last week, because it's easy to fall in love with that city if you only go there for like 2 weeks. But I specifically was like, you know, I kind of feel like I'm in a rut in LA. I want to go out there, adventure, maybe find myself or find a better version of myself, because that was what I set out to do when I went out there, because I wanted to be a better, funnier comedian. And I was out there for a month. I was out there for a month, and on my last week, I realized that, you know what? I'd rather be sad in Los Angeles than be sad in New York.
Okay.
I realized that. It's easier.
Is there any version where you're happy in either?
Yeah, I'd say so. Right now.
You're happy right now?
Yeah, I could just go to the beach if I want to.
Yeah, I go every night.
Drive to the beach. I could drive there, not take a train. But, you know, if I took my car with me to New York, I'd probably be able to do that too. But I would imagine it just be more taxing of an activity.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for proximity to the ocean.
That, and obviously the weather.
It's chilled me out. It took 3 years, but I'm finally chilling out.
As far as what?
Living by the beach.
Nice.
And just like not. I feel like I'm less Larry David now than when we met. I'm a lot less like everything doesn't piss me off like it used to. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old and running out of energy, but I'm not as like neurotic about weird
Interesting.
shit.
I'm probably going to be this way for the rest of my life. So, yeah.
I mean, you'll settle down.
We'll see.
Let's do another Would You Rather. I like this one because it's going to take us into some political stuff, because I want to get your take on something. Would you rather... I got to look in the camera for this. I can't. Would you rather make one new law of your choice or get rid of any law of your choice? Like, is there one law that you would get rid of right now, or is there a new law that you would write?
That's an interesting question, because I haven't really given much thought to either of these. A new law?
Like, is there something that you can't do right now that you want to do?
And that's the problem. It's more so like a grievance that I have. And again, this is just maybe my dumbest opinion, because I haven't given much thought to either of these things, because there's no law that's pissing me off right now, and there's no new law that I would want to write. And maybe if I had more time to think about it, I probably would have one. But I think maybe for right now, I mean, who would enforce this? But maybe.
I mean, it also depends on where you live, right? Like, some things aren't getting enforced in LA that used to be enforced.
Yeah, and it's too easy to be like, I'd make theft illegal again, but right, I would make it'd make homeless.
Stealing should be
wrong.
Should be
outlawed, right? That you even have to say that.
If you don't live in LA, what he's referencing is that if it's not valued over under $900, the cops won't come for it.
The cops will not come for it. They won't persecute it. They won't find it. And if they do catch the guy, they'll release him on bail, like the next day. You basically get away. I mean, yeah, people are like, what is it? I'm like, this is the wild, wild west, literally, at this point. This is the wild fucking west.
Dude, KTLA found a guy who built out of wood like this, a tiny home on the corner of like, I'm not even going to say what corner it is.
Yeah.
Because I don't want everybody running over there. I just can't remember what corner it was. But then the KTLA called the cops, and they're like, what are you going to do about this? They called wellness officers, and they did, this other stuff. But it's like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. He's fine. He's in there. He's doing well.
Yeah. Literally. So I mean, I wouldn't make that illegal too because I wouldn't make that illegal because I'm like, I mean, if you can find a way, do it. But
there's okay. So you know how a lot of unhoused,
homeless.
yeah, people gravitate towards under bridges and overpasses
Yeah.
and like park areas and whatnot.
Yeah.
Instead of just letting them put up their own tents, why don't we build out those areas? Or are we getting it too much into like the government and social programs and all that stuff? Like,
yeah, because they already pay these people to be homeless to a degree. I think they give them like just enough money to like survive. If I'm correct.
I mean, so where would one go about getting that money, right? Like if I wanted to be homeless tomorrow,
All right.
like the only thing I would be aware of to get money would be unemployment, and that would run out eventually, and I don't know where I would go get it.
What do you mean run out eventually? I think you just have to make a new claim when it expires.
No, so you have an unemployment account,
Yeah.
and you do have to reapply,
Right.
but you can't stay on it indefinitely.
Why not?
I don't know. That'd be super cool if you could.
I think that's what they're doing. I think there's like some program where they're like, no, they're paying me to be homeless, basically, or there's like a level of government assistance where they don't necessarily need to get a house or an apartment. But again, I probably wouldn't make that illegal either. Let's see.
No, I mean, I think you should be able to do whatever you want to do as long as you're not blocking a sidewalk. Like people still need to be able to be pedestrians in the
Yeah, we're
city.
talking about climate activists now.
Yeah.
New law. Maybe, so here's what first came to my mind, but even then I don't really want to say it because it's not necessarily thought out, but I would just say I would make it illegal for social media platforms to ban you or to interfere with the algorithm because the people that moderate it have a bias. I'd probably make that illegal. I would extend the Constitution regarding freedom of speech to mega digital corporations. So if I see you putting a tweet at the bottom of the timeline because it accurately pointed out that Trump did not specifically say Haitians, he just said they, and if I see you, all right, log out, you're going to jail. Something like that.
Okay, so let's get into that. You're referencing the debate.
Yeah.
Where all the comedians are now like, Donald Trump's saying that Haitians are eating cats.
Yeah. He never said Haitians.
Okay, but when is that?
No one gives a fuck about JD Vance. So go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Nobody gives a fuck about JD Vance.
They weren't paying attention to anything that he said.
Yeah. The funniest thing that JD Vance said last week was that he was like trying to clap back at Taylor Swift, and he's like, I don't think the younger generation gives a shit about this billionaire, out of touch entertainer lady, and all of the words could be interjected with a description for Donald Trump.
Yeah. I don't like. I mean, yeah. It's just like my billionaire is better than your billionaire. It's annoying as fuck.
Yeah,
it's annoying. I don't like how people are like allowed to like Taylor Swift, but I'm not allowed to like Elon Musk. I don't even have a fucking Tesla. You guys do. I don't even have any.
Why aren't you allowed to like Elon Musk? Because he endorses Trump?
That, or people disagree with the fact that he bought Twitter and he reinstated Alex Jones. This kind of goes back into the new law thing that I was talking about. He reinstated a lot of social media accounts. People saying, "Oh, it's alt-right." The Twitter is alt-right. X is a dumb name. I talked about this on my Instagram. I did like a monologue over it. Very well written. Twitter was a dump anyway. Guys, you got forget, like, we're just switching the pendulum from, one side to the other, but I like that as just bring these people back. I like that. When he basically made Twitter the way it was in 2014. The X that you're seeing right now is 2014 Twitter in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I never was a big fan of Twitter, so I used to use Twitter as my, like, get it off my chest, like, not hate speech, as you would say, but, like, if I'm angry about something, I'm going to tweet it.
Yeah.
And then if I'm happy about something, I'm going to brag about it with a picture or something on Facebook or Instagram.
There you go.
And then I realized when Kevin Hart got scrubbed for all of his tweets,
yeah,
I went back through my Twitter and I was like, delete your fucking
Twitter. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I hand deleted every single tweet I've ever put out.
Yeah. That's oh boy, yeah, that was a fun one. There used to be a website you can go to. I remember where, like, if you had like over 100,000 tweets, you could go to a specific website to find tweets before a certain time, because like this is like old iPhone. This is like iPhone 5, 6, 2015, 16 maybe. But there was like if I saw your Twitter account had like over 100,000, 70,000 tweets, I would just keep scrolling until I could go to the bottom, just like because I was bored. I was like, let's see how far I can go, and there would be a certain point where it wouldn't refresh anymore. So then I would go, okay, I would look up, okay, Tina Fey Twitter account 2010, and then I could find some of those tweets. So
that's if you wanted to cancel her.
No, not that I wanted to cancel her. I was like, I just want to know what you were tweeting. This was not like I had no intention of canceling her because I didn't even have the power to do that.
But dude, 100,000 tweets means you're tweeting 5, 10, 15 times a day.
Literally, yeah. So I was like, and if that person was funny, I would be like, okay, let's see how funny you were in 2010. That was my motivation, because I'm not sure if you guys remember those, like, I mean, they're back now, but like there would like be like Stewie Twitter accounts, Peter Twitter accounts, where they would just post like offensive jokes. Yeah. They would tweet offensive jokes on Twitter, but it would just be Stewie or Joker, or it would Homer Simpson sometimes.
But
Ted.
So it's in their voice?
No, that would just be the icon. So like what the version of that now is meme accounts. But it's like a teddy bear or something, or it's like a cartoon character. But it would just be a faceless social media page dedicated to jokes, funny one-liners, offensive, irreverent humor.
Yeah. Do you think those accounts are stealing it, or are they?
Absolutely, yeah. They're all recycling.
Yeah.
They're all recycling. Some of it is original. I think Gaines is original. He's on Instagram.
Because I do know of the clip accounts on TikTok where they grab like a podcast like this.
Yeah.
They throw it through Opus Clip. They get 30 clips out of it. They put it on their TikTok, and they make a ton of money.
Yeah.
Because I've had my biggest views on my clips haven't even been my clips.
No, someone else took it.
Someone took it.
Yeah.
And they have an account, but that's not even a big account.
No.
But they just knew how to drive traffic to it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's got 500,000 views. I'm like,
I've been trying to figure out how to do that, man. It's a great way to make money.
It is. I'll tell you how to do it after.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I know how to do it for other people. I can't do it for myself.
That's the problem, dude. Like yeah, man. I know what you mean. Yeah. But like I've tried. There's YouTube videos on that.
There are
on how to create like a faceless YouTube channel. Basically, it's basically like a digital business.
Yeah.
It's like opening a Nike store that you do not own.
Right. Well, there's plenty of those in the mall. It's just people that buy Nike shit off the internet, shrink wrap it, and flip it, and
literally. So.
I think that's one of the reasons why AI is going to end up imploding, is because like AI keeps making digital copies of AI prints. So like it's called AI incest, right? So it looks for a picture of a hand and then it redoes the picture of the hand. But if every time there's another finger or whatever, so eventually like AI gets worse and worse over time.
Yeah.
Because there's more and more pollutant. So I think eventually YouTube, TikTok, all that shit's going to crack down on faceless accounts.
Interesting.
Because there's an unlimited number of people that are like, oh, I'm repurposing Josh's content over here and I'm getting more views than Josh. Well, Josh is getting paid for that. So like,
interesting.
I don't know. I think there should be a way to like digitally tag the content and like know that
they're trying to do that right now. Instagram is trying to do that. They're like, we're asking you to be responsible now. Did you use AI for this post? Okay, I did. Yeah, that's gonna work. But they're trying. They're making an attempt.
I love putting clips of other people's stuff in my clips.
Yeah.
As like a one-liner or a joke, but I'm never going to take someone's full piece of content and go, this is mine.
Yeah, no. If I'm going to do that, it would just be to reference a point that I'm making.
Yeah, I shouldn't say never, because a couple of times, for a while there, I was known as the guy that would like take your podcast and make you say weird stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
So like on Two Bears, when Bert received Hitler's teacup from Tom, I made it sound like Bert was like, I love the guy who used to run the German army. I don't want to say the H word.
That's hilarious.
Because that's a trigger word for this platform. But
that's hilarious. I mean, I wouldn't even say that's stealing. That's you.
I rearranged the words. It's
not necessarily stealing or anything like that. Not even. Yeah, I mean, I would say this is repurposing, but like that's a bit that you're doing. Yeah. It's like a digital bit. So I wouldn't say. I think that's like in that. I think that's parentheses original.
Yeah. I had to take it down when my account got monetized, though.
Why?
Because it was like the last thing I had posted, and it was like, oh, is all your content originally yours? And I was like, yep. And they were like, no, it's not. Wait 30 days. So I had to wait 30 days after I monetized my account.
Shit.
So I took it down. I'll probably repost it eventually. Got a couple 100,000 views.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. You know, that's just a daily occurrence over here at the Isaac Abrams Show.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, man.
Gotta get monetized, man. It's fucking annoying.
Oh, yeah, dude. We're making $2 a day over here on YouTube, dude.
I'm trying to get more than that, but yeah, I see what you mean. It's annoying. People are more successful than me.
It's
these platforms. It's fucking stupid.
Me?
I said people are more successful than me, yeah.
Oh, dude, there's people that are... Like, there's a show that I produce right now that's making a couple $1,000s a month on TikTok.
Yeah. Like, see what I'm talking about? Like, are they younger than you?
No.
Okay, well, that's good. There you go.
Oh, I'm fully working with the boomers now, dude. I'm like,
okay.
I'm embracing my boomerhood. I'll be 45 next month.
That's great.
I'm only going to hang out with old people from now on.
Okay, because, I mean, like, when they're younger, that I get, like, really mad. But,
I mean, yo, dude, 16-year-olds that are making $700,000 a year, it's like,
yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're doing the backpack dance every day.
Yeah.
Even that's old. I don't even have a young, hip reference.
It's fine. You don't need to. You don't need one. No. Time is moving too fast for you guys to catch up.
I'm not a boomer, though. I'm Gen X or Gen Z.
I'm Gen Z. You're Gen X.
Yeah. I'm a millennial.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a boomer.
I know you're not.
I feel like one. And I don't care.
No, I think boomers like 50 right now.
No. Boomers were baby boomers. They're 60, 70, 80 years old. They're dying off. Because they were all born after the last war.
Okay.
Not the last war, because we're constantly
I was going to say, like, you know, the last war. I was like, pick one.
What's your favorite war and why?
The Cold War.
Yeah, because it's still
James
going.
Bond. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about politics?
Sure.
Are you, without saying who you're voting for? All right, how about this? Let's just pivot for just a second. I've talked about this with a couple people.
Kanye.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you still into conspiracy theories?
It depends on what you think a conspiracy theory is.
Nice. That's the best answer.
That's the answer I'm going to give, because I was in the car thinking about this, and when people were like, "Oh, he's in a conspiracy," I was at work yesterday, man. I hate talking to these people, but they were like, "This person is a conspiracy theorist," and I was like, "Oh, does he believe that Trump's assassination was staged? Because that's a conspiracy theory, right?" It meets all the requirements. I'll go back and forth with anybody on this to prove that it's not a conspiracy theory.
Okay. You don't think it was staged?
It wasn't.
Okay. But do you not agree?
But saying that it was staged. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you.
That's fine. Do you think that there's an unprecedented amount of first time like scenarios? Like there's a lot of like, that's interesting in that scenario, right?
Yeah.
So it just makes you scratch your head, right?
Of course, yeah.
It's definitely.
But again, you sound exactly like people on the right who said that about, let's say, the vaccine or the election, or pick one. Everyone that has ever worked for Hillary or Bill Clinton being murdered or offed or being assassinated, et cetera, where you go, well, that is interesting. I'm like, exactly. If that's what we're calling conspiracy theorists, then you're a conspiracy theorist if you say it's staged. Because, by the way, I'm not saying that. So I'm going to backtrack on that point. It could have been staged. I don't think it was, because the guy died. I mean, I'm sure that wasn't maybe the intention, but I don't believe that it was staged. I can't see it. Because a lot of it was too convenient for it to have been not staged, for it to be, not staged. But at the same time, it's just like people trying to argue that it was staged. I'm like, you sound because let's do it. But what was your original question? Without saying who you're going to vote for, that was where you let off.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter who you're going to vote for, because no matter who wins,
yeah, we're all fucked.
Whoever's controlling the country is still going to keep.
Yeah, I mean, I think this presidency is kind of like all the proof that you need that he doesn't really like do anything. Like the amount of times where where Joe Biden has been like, I can't answer any more questions or I'm going to get in trouble. By who? You're the fucking president. Who are you going to get?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like,
how far?
Can you imagine if your mother, it's only you and your mother that lives in the house. She's the one paying all the bills and taking care of you and all that. And then she goes, all right, you guys got to go to bed at 10 o'clock or I'm going to get in trouble. By who?
the landlord.
But no. She owns the house. Like,
Okay.
let's say, like, let's
Outright. She got the title.
outright. She has a title. Like, it's
Yeah.
only you. Like, who is this person? Is there somebody else listening to the conversations? Like, who is gonna get in trouble? You're the president. What are you talking about? That just made me. I mean, there's obvious answers to those questions, but I'm just saying, like, it feels like. I think this is like maybe the first time people are understanding that it's not just that guy that runs the country, and that a 4-year administration isn't necessarily as effective as people say it is.
It's definitely not. And then, like, whatever the effects of that 4-year term were end up manifesting in the term after, and then the opposite party blames or takes credit for the good and the bad.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. The thing that I'm not a fan of right now is that there's just this ultimate divide.
Yeah.
And if you believe, or if you vote for one person and I want to vote for the other person, we can't even talk to each other. And that shit drives me crazy. Like, the speeches now are like, oh, dirty Donald Trump or crooked Hillary or whatever. Like, they're a crook. They're bad. Put them in jail.
Yeah.
Dude, just because they oppose you on policy doesn't mean that they should go to jail or they're going to hell.
Or if they say things that are offensive or that you find offensive or offend you specifically, I'm like, you can go down the street and hear something offensive like that.
Right.
So I'm going to be on the bus with this guy. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
I don't personally care for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
As a person.
Right.
But I'm not just going to necessarily jump on the bandwagon of Kamala just because they were like, oh, she's horrible. Never mind. Sleepy Joe's tired now, so we're going to make her the best. Like, I don't know. Both of them just rub me the wrong way, and I want more options.
That too. I don't think either of them has the country's best interest at heart. I'm not sure if that's controversial.
I think it's common knowledge.
I don't think that either of them. I think that Kamala is maybe what America thinks it is or wants to be, and I think Trump is what America actually is.
Oh, interesting.
I know so many people that are like the exact version of who they think Trump is, but just on the left. As far as like, I mean, I go to work. The way people casually talk about Trump in a very nefarious way, I go, you sound exactly like him, but you're wearing blue, if that makes any sense. Right. Like, I was at work, the people there, she was like, I don't wish death on anyone except Trump. And I'm like,
it's so stupid.
It's the same shit. So I'm like, but as far as like, I think that's who people really are, though. I think people in America are more like Trump than they care to realize in many ways. You know, I think, but to your point about the division, I think, you know who Giannis Pappas is?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, hilarious comedian, man. I love it. Anytime I get a chance to see him go up, I'll see him go up. I love his podcast, too. With, like, I think on his most recent episode of his podcast, he was like, bipartisan dinner parties are kind of over now, which is very unfortunate. Because, I mean, he's old enough to, I think, talk about this from experience. But back in the day, Republicans and Democrats on a ground level, citizen level, they were always usually able to hang out with each other, but it doesn't seem like that's the way anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think in the world before the 24-hour news cycle, we could just all have a meal.
Yeah,
and it would come up and go away.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you feel about that thing that's going on? I'm for it. I'm against it.
Yeah,
that's a shame. And then that's it.
And then that was it. But then he goes like, now it's just completely different. Like the hang is gone now, which is very unfortunate.
If you don't believe exactly like me, and it's causing huge rifts in families. Like it caused a big rift between me and my mom during the pandemic. I was like, in my specific case, my mom wants to vote for Trump for one single issue. She's a single issue voter.
That's a new term that I'm hearing now that I really like.
Oh, it's been around for years.
I didn't even know, but I'm now hearing it for the first few times this year. Is I'm a single issue voter. I go, that sounds more like me. But like even then, I'm like,
I care about this one thing.
This one specific issue
because it's a deflection.
Down. Go ahead.
It lets you say that I don't have to defend any of the behavior of this candidate for any other reason. As long as this candidate supports this one ideal that I support, then I'm going to give that person my vote.
Okay, if that's the case, then okay, that makes sense.
Well, I think it's a cop out for a lot of like Christians and religious people to be like, we're going to support this person because he wants to outlaw abortion. We believe that, you know, life begins at conception. We want to save as many lives as possible until they're born, and then we want to give them the electric chair.
Right.
And we want to kill them as soon as they're done being born.
Right.
So, like, my mom will only vote for whoever's going to get rid of abortion.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter their record. Hitler could come back to life right now and be like, I'm getting rid of... I don't know why I'm doing the fucking accent.
I don't know why you're trying to do an accent.
Stop abortion.
Right.
And then she would be like, yeah, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I get that. My thing with that is, like, as more controversial figures become popular because of social media, you hear a lot of people say this where they go, well, I don't agree with everything they say. And it's like, yeah, that goes without saying, that's everybody. There's not a single person on this planet, even your own mother, your brother, or your family members, who you agree with every single thing that they've ever said or done.
Right.
So it's just like, I think that just kind of goes without saying. I think that that's just them trying to, like, not stoke the fire almost. But you shouldn't have to cater to those types of people that are so emotionally volatile.
Is the bar too high for politicians? Have we said you must achieve perfection to run for office because we're going to dig through your whole life? And then when we find these imperfect...
sorry, go ahead.
Well, we find these imperfect people to run, and they're like, well, they're not perfect. You can't have my vote.
I think that's a more tit for tat problem. I think that's like a fruit of like a already poisonous tree. I think it's the wrong bar to hold them to.
Yeah.
I think a better bar is just to understand that they're servants. You know what? Maybe that'd be a new law. I would get rid of stickers. I would get rid of stickers. I'm tired of seeing Harris. I'm tired of seeing T-shirts. I would get rid of merch for politicians. No more merch. No more T-shirts. No more stickers. No more hats. No more pins. None of that shit. Again, you work for me. You're taking money out of my paycheck. Yeah. So already, that's your merch right there.
What about like campaign finance cap limits? Like you get $100 million and that's it.
Yeah, sure. No more donations too. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm already donating to you with the taxes. Again. Yeah. What do you think? Where's the money going exactly? I'm already doing it. Yeah. So there's that. There's like, well, we raise taxes again. I'm like, so you still want the money? You should not be allowed to. You know how cops like we can't accept gratuities. Why are we donating to these people?
Here's the thing about
your public servants.
You should be able to tip the shit out of cops, fire department, and the lifeguards. If they save your life, dude, you should be able to grease them up. You're tipping the Starbucks person. You should be
There's like an Starbucks aren't saving our lives. They're killing us. What the fuck?
They are, but we're still tipping them.
We're still tipping them.
You get pulled out of the ocean by a lifeguard, you can't even hand that guy a $20 bill.
That's a whole other thing. Okay, so with baristas, they have like a scanner. They have like a digital thing with options to tip them. Cops don't walk around with like a card scanner on their iPhone.
Right.
But
how would you rate your ticketing experience?
Literally, I was like, go fuck you. How about that? How's that? There's your tip. But I mean, there's like a lot of I'm sure someone who has a more extensive knowledge of civics can go into this in the comment section. But like,
that we will not read.
I'll probably read it. But there's like a ethical reason as to why cops should not or do not accept gratuities.
Yeah, maybe we leave cops out of it, but like firemen,
for favoritism,
firemen and lifeguards should be able to get tips.
Sure, but even that. So the ethical behind that, I think, is, and this is just off the top of my head, I think that there would be a level of favoritism then if that's the case. It would breed favoritism.
You think that the firefighters would only go to the fire if they got a Christmas basket from that neighborhood?
Something like that, yeah.
Get out of here.
Something like that, yeah.
That shit already happens, dude. People bring like food and donations and booze.
Yeah, but they walk to the fire station. They're like, that person may live fucking in Germany and they're visiting for a couple of months and they just love firefighters.
No German people are donating shit to the fire department, dude.
I mean, something like that. I'm just saying, like, across the board, I think just as a off principle, no one is receiving tips, so that it doesn't breed favoritism.
Look, I think nobody should get tips anywhere in the United States. I think we should outlaw tipping everywhere.
No tipping whatsoever.
Pay a livable wage at every job.
Yeah. But then it's like, what is a livable wage? You know what I mean? I don't think a house of roommates is livable, even though I'm currently living there right now.
Yeah.
So there you go. I think livable wage is, it depends on what you think livable is.
I mean, everybody defines that for themselves, right? And
Exactly,
then
there
they
you
set
go.
their work limit on how much they want that livable standard of living.
Yeah, and everyone here wants to be paid to do nothing like Paris Hilton. So
yeah, that's why we're sitting here.
that's why we're doing this, man.
I want this to be my job.
It is, by the way.
Oh, it kind of is.
This is your job, yeah.
It actually is my job.
It took me a minute to realize that when I was in New York, because I got kind of sad, and I was like, you know what? I'm low-key doing everything that I actually want to be doing. It's just not how I pictured it in my head, but I'm still doing it. I do still get to... I'm very physically fit right now because of all the walking that I'm doing in New York. I'm going out, and I'm saying hello to attractive women and telling them that I think you're beautiful and I want to take you on a date. I'm doing shows in New York. I'm traveling to do stand-up, which is what I'm doing, from LA to New York. I'm writing more often because the commute, you're like 45 minutes on a train. Sometimes there's connections, but you can just sit there, write. I'm meditating every day. I want to do that. And I'm going to the gym regularly. So it may not be in like a loft in a skyscraper in New York, and I may not have a driver or afford to Uber everywhere all the time or get the steak that I want or the burrito that I want, but I'm still doing it. So this is your job, Isaac.
Oh yeah, I mean I work here too.
Literally, yeah. This is your job.
I have to come here to work tomorrow. I just get to use it when other people aren't paying for it.
That's great. Yeah. Having an office space is very important.
It is, but it's very cold in here because they fixed the air conditioner, which means, I don't know, it's always been set to the same thing, and now it's just freezing cold in here, which makes me tired.
Should have raised my hand like that.
Like this?
Yeah.
Josh Shakespeare. I can't believe I've never asked you this question. This is how we end. This is how we used to end in seasons 1, 2, and 3. We're in season 4, but I've never had you on the show before, and it aired. So what's the best meal you've ever had in your whole life?
Best, does it have to be specific, like where I've been?
No, people take this two ways. They either go best home cooked meal that I've ever been to, or like best restaurant fine dining experience, or dining experience in general.
And both options are acceptable.
Yeah, dude, there's no rules. It's just I'm hungry and I want to talk about food.
I don't remember where I was, but I do remember having like a steak with mashed potatoes, and I'm not particularly a fan of mashed potatoes. Like I have to eat it with something else. It was pretty good. It was a steak with sauce on it.
Unknown steak location.
That's what I'm saying. That's my answer. I remember like specifically it was like a very juicy steak that I had before, and it was great. I don't think it was Ruth's Chris, because like this is. I mean, I went there once. I was like, this is just like I can get this at fucking Outback.
But when you said that, it triggered my second favorite steak memory, which was, I don't even know the name of the restaurant, but it's in the mountains of North Carolina. Mm-hmm. I went there for my birthday in October. The leaves are changing. You can look out over this valley and see tens of thousands of trees. Yeah. And they just brought me this steak, and it might have been the first time I ordered a steak as an adult and had to pay for it myself. And I just remember biting into it and just melted. Yeah. And I was like, oh, being an adult is awesome. Yeah. I was about your age. I was 25.
Nice. Yeah, there you go. I mean, yeah, I wish for the life of me, I wish I knew what this restaurant was.
Was it in LA? If you're just listening, you should flip over to YouTube and watch that reaction.
I think this was in another state. I don't think it was in LA or New York, or it definitely wasn't in New York, but I think it may have been in like maybe Nashville.
Oh, yeah. They got good steak in Nashville.
I think it might have been Nashville.
I thought about moving to Nashville.
You'd like it.
I would.
You'd really like it.
I would like it for 6 months out of the year. I don't like cold.
I went there when the weather was nice. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it even gets cold in there, which is dumb, because I was like, oh, yeah, right. Not everywhere is LA.
Yeah, and the hot is humid hot, and fuck that.
Yeah. I mean, unless you like looking at Daisy Dukes and cowboy boots.
Which also happens to rhyme. And I do like looking at those. I just like it when it's like country night in LA and the girls wear that stuff.
Just country night in LA? Where is that?
At the country bars.
Where?
Oh, I'll tell you. There's plenty of them. You would have a great time. Josh, how can we find you on the internet?
Josh A. Shakespeare on Instagram, Josh Shakespeare on YouTube, Josh A. Shakespeare on TikTok as well, Shakespeare Josh on Apple Music. Make sure to follow me on that. I make playlists for fun, for specific moods. I'm going to be making more of those. And, I mean, there's still episodes of the Josh Shakespeare podcast that you can listen to. I haven't done it in a while. I may bring it back. We'll see what happens if I feel like I'm up for it. New videos every Wednesday on YouTube and Instagram.
Are you serious? You put a new video out every Wednesday?
At 3 p.m. PST. And there will be more videos on a more regular schedule throughout the week. I'm bringing back skits because people don't like or share or repost the monologues or the reactions that I do because it's too overproduced.
Really?
I mean, at least in my perception, this is not as funny as the skits that I would do beforehand, but it's difficult to produce a sketch. Everyone is busy. Everyone thinks that you're an alt-right extremist, so they don't want to stand or be associated next to you. You make boomerangs with them. They post it, then take it down the next couple of minutes.
Well, you are an alt-right extremist.
I'm independent. I don't identify as that. I'm politically non-binary. I'd expect you to respect my political pronouns. Let's keep the same energy. You're a liberal. You know the rules.
I'm not a liberal. I'm a middle of the road guy.
Middle of the road centrist. So those are all the platforms you can follow me on. Try to friend me. Say hi to my mother by friending me on PlayStation Network. That is also Shakespeare Josh. Yeah, that's about it.
PlayStation Network. I've never had a comedian plug their PlayStation game.
PSN. If you want to say hi to my mother, just send me a friend request on PlayStation Network.
Why would anybody want to talk to your mom?
You can just say hi.
Is because she's playing PlayStation on your
I don't
account?
play PlayStation Network anymore. Well, I don't play on PlayStation anymore, but like whenever she logs, you have to like log in to use the internet to go on Netflix through the PlayStation and on
Oh, hilarious.
Yeah.
So she's using that at the house.
At my house, yeah. At the house. So like, cause I haven't played PlayStation in years and all that too. But
all
like,
of a sudden it's like, what's up, player? And she's like, I'm watching Netflix.
yeah, so like that too. But like, you can't. I don't think you can. She's not gonna see the messages that you send. Maybe she might, but like, you know. I remember like one time like I did I did an appearance and I was like, if you want to say hi, my mom just send me a friend request, and she's like, I keep getting these friend requests on PSN. And I was like, yeah, that's them. That's the fans saying hi to you. So if you want to do that, that'd be great. That'd be cool. You know,
your mom ends up becoming famous.
That'd be funny. Yeah, and it's not even me on there; it's my mom. But yeah, Shakespeare Josh. There you go.
Go say hi to Josh's mom.
Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't do that. Follow me. Send me money.
Yeah, Venmo Josh, or Zelle.
You need my phone number to do that. I'm not giving you my phone number.
Okay.
Josh Shakespeare on Venmo. There's only one of us.
There's only one?
I'm like the only Josh Shakespeare.
I think you can look forward to tens of dollars.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can afford like 1 Celsius and a half. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you while we're logging
No,
out.
you're good. Celsius. I'm going to go get one of those right now before 4 o'clock. Josh Shakespeare, thank you for being here for the multipleth time, but this is the one that'll come out. Do you have a brand deal with Celsius?
No, but I would like to do that though. I'd like to make my own energy drink, but specifically for comedians.
What's it called?
Think of one, right? Riffs.
I thought you already had it all.
Oh,
worked out.
no. But I mean, like riffs. I don't know. I'll leave you with this. I don't know. Fucking bite the bullet.
What else, man?
What else was going on? Some shit like that. Call it something. There's always like there's like a handful. There's like a bag full of things that you can call an energy drink for comedians, right?
This works in another city.
Something like that, right? Oh, born and raised, or some shit like that, or closing statement.
Where
closer,
do you work?
The chaser, the closer.
How'd you guys meet?
Right. Crowd work.
Right. The chaser. I like the chaser.
Chaser.
The closer's pretty good too.
The closer, something like that. Closing, something like that. Punch ups.
Oh, something with punch.
Punch ups or punch down.
Punch lines.
Punch down.
Punch lines. Cocaine for comics.
Something like that, right? There's like a supplement in there, and you look at it, and it's like, oh, this is literally gasoline. Yeah, something like that. There's also some B vitamins in there too. You don't forget to mention that.
Oh, you can't forget the B vitamins.
Can't forget the B vitamins.
Apparently, it's got quite a bit of caffeine in that. And it's
200 milligrams, yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's 2 cups of coffee.
That's not true. A cup of coffee is 60 milligrams.
No, a cup of coffee is 145.
That is not true.
Being so serious, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Let's look at the.
We can right after we cut, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week on the Isaac Abrams Show. Thanks for watching and listening. Please go follow Josh, and we'll see you next week.
This show's a piece of shit.